Well, hello everybody and welcome back. Today is Saturday, October the 3rd, and I hope everyone's having great weather like we're having where I live, and it's just been a beautiful weekend. I wanted to get a video up last night, but nevertheless, that didn't happen. I was tired, had a lot going on yesterday, so I thought I'm going to take time out today from what I'm doing and just go ahead and get this video out to you. So I made this money-making idea today is Humane Tech, and Meghan's saying to all of us, buy at Meghan's Mirror and support our lifestyle. Disclaimer, full disclaimer can be found down below in the description box. Want to take this time to thank you all for watching the Moonchild 714 channel. I hope that you'll subscribe and leave your comments below because I love reading them, and as you can tell, I will read every single one. You guys have such creative ideas and thoughts, and are very enjoyable for me to interact with. Oh gosh, I know I got a lot this time. Let me see how far up I actually went. Here we go. All right. So, Australian news says Meghan Markle set to talk about creating Humane Tech, which is a big part of what Archewell is going to be. So we don't know because Archewell was still going through the approval process, and they tried to launch it during the pandemic and before it was even ready to go, and made a lot of mistakes there. Wonder how many heads actually rolled for that little mistake. But anyway, as you can see, and I'm going to start with Meghan's picture, she's wearing a blouse that is unbuttoned. She is wearing a blouse that is stained. I don't know what that is right there, but some kind of stain where she was eating or drinking. And, of course, she's in another pair of plethora pants. So not leather, but probably some kind of vegan pants. But whatever it is, she's merching everything around here today. So let's get on with the news. Meghan Markle is set to talk about creating Humane Tech, which will be a big part of charity Archewell during a virtual summit. The royal will speak at Fortune's Most Powerful Women Summit today for about 15 minutes, which I think she actually spoke about 10. According to its online description, the three-day event will gather the preeminent women in business, along with select leaders in government, philanthropy, education, sports, the arts, and to explore our theme, rise into the new reality, or we should say rise into the snowflake global realization. Meghan's session, which is, again, it was 15 minutes set for her. Again, she was not one of the people that were being recognized. It was her going out and begging to give a little speech. She wants to be seen as being the most involved person in everything so that she can actually win all these titles next year, like the Time 100 most powerful and the top 100 most powerful women. So, Prince Harry had said social media was stroking a crisis of hate, all because of what said about Meghan. If you don't tell lies, people aren't going to call you out on it, and urged companies to rethink their roles in advertising on these digital platforms. Yeah, come after us, YouTubers. I've never made a penny from YouTube myself, so what are you going to take and what are they going to do? So, it does make a difference to me. In an opinion piece for a U.S. business magazine, Fast Company headline, "Social media is dividing us. Together we can redesign it." Harry said that social media, as it currently stands, is unwell. The former senior said that he and his wife, Meghan, had spent the past few weeks working with business leaders and marketing executives on the issue to try and introduce changes. Social Dilemma, a new documentary. I don't know, and this is part of Netflix. So again, they're in cahoots with Netflix. They probably are just stealing their ideas. But the new documentary, which was released, I guess, on September the 9th, comes out and says that we hope that this film, full of its interviews with tech insiders, will be a catalyst and tool for exposing how technology has been distorting our perception of the world, and it will help us reach the shared ground that we need to solve big problems together. Well, of course, we know there's fake news out there everywhere, whether it be on news broadcasts, a printed magazine, YouTube, blogs wherever. But we have to decipher through them and decide what we see as the truth based on evidence that has been shown to us. And Meghan and them are trying to jump on this bandwagon, but here's the thing, Meghan. The reason why that people are after you, I know you don't want to hear this or you don't get actual reality feedback, but it's because of all the lies that you've told. It's because you said you wanted to leave the royal family, that the UK was racist, that you didn't fit in, that you weren't given a platform. The problem is you wanted, and you were just, you give you an inch and you take a mile. You wanted privacy, but no, you didn't. You wanted to be the world's greatest influencer, be involved in everything, especially anything that will bring money back to you. This is the, it was aired at Sundance, and this is the series or the documentary called The Social Dilemma. So I'm going to let you hear just a little bit of the video on this. And it takes just a minute before it starts. So if you would just bear with me. Anyway, that's a little bit what the Social Dilemma is about. So Harry and Meghan, I'm sure, know about this and have watched it. But what they're doing is they're taking one little bit of it, the part that directly affects them. So Harry and Meghan want to enact Humane Tech and be able to censor what we see and what we don't see, and decide that if it relates to them in a positive light, then that's great. But if it doesn't, then censor us from being able to share our opinions and our views. So their Humane Tech takes one little part of this, but wants to turn it around so it affects them in a positive manner. So that's the part that gets me. So anyway, let's see if... all right, here we go. How do we build and rebuild our digital world, and what's the price that we pay if we don't? The Duchess will sit down with Ellen McGirt for the discussion, who is senior editor at Fortune magazine, and I'm sure you've all seen it. So she talks, this is a different one, Hello Magazine. Meghan talks lockdown with Archie. And, oh, let me go back to that 1 second. I apologize. I just want to say that we don't want to let them, whatever it is that Meghan and Harry are getting involved with, and that they want this to be a part of their Archewell Foundation whenever they set it up. We need to make sure that we keep our eyes and ears open and see exactly what it is they're trying to do, and make sure they're not breaking our constitutional rights in trying to do so. Now, going back to this, Meghan Markle talks lockdown with son Archie. And let's see, during the virtual summit, Meghan spoke about ways to create humane tech, telling Fortune, we have all got to put our stock in something that is true. Whew, you should be talking, Meghan. And we need to have reliable media and news sources that are telling us the truth. When you know something is wrong, report it. Let's talk about it. But that's not what she does. She just goes out and sues them. So what are we supposed to do? We don't have millions to sue somebody. If something's written that we know is not correct, all we can do is speak out on it. And Meghan doesn't speak out. She just becomes, ready to file a lawsuit against them and hit them in the pocketbook. And I think she wants people to fear them, so that if we say anything negative, and that she'll have a reputation of going out after them. Part of our focus with the Archewell Foundation is just to ensure that we are helping foster healthy, positive communities online and off for our collective well-being, said Meghan. It really just includes not contributing to or even clicking on misinformation. And when you know something's wrong, reporting it, talking about it, ensuring that the facts are getting out there. I think that is one clear, tangible thing that everyone could be doing. Well, we don't see you doing that. All right. Bizarre reports, and this is by Bianca Betancourt. Meghan Markle describes the current cultural climate as a moment of reset and reckoning. Oh, my God. And then I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it just says their take on it. The Duchess of Sussex is reflecting on how the last few months in America, including the COVID crisis, Black Lives Matter movement, and high-stakes 2020 presidential election are affecting our culture at large. Oh, my God. And she thinks that she's got to be involved in it. I keep being reminded of her saying when she was at one of the conferences and she was sitting on stage with a panel of women. She had on the black and white dress, her moon bump, and her black jacket. And she said, it's time that we stand out and say something. And if nobody's saying anything, then why not me? I'll say something. So she's doing exactly what she was showing us, pieces and glimpses into her mindset before when she was living in Britain. So it just says it's such a tumultuous time in our country. In recent months, both Meghan and Harry have been consistently campaigned against the spread of misinformation and hate speech online. She gives a hate speech. She talks about the people of Britain being racist. She talks about how we need to be involved in Black Lives Matter with a bunch of Marxist people who practice witchcraft. And she wants to talk about hate. They're the ones spreading hate and spreading violence. We're only here to talk about the things that we see that she's misinforming the public about and the lies that she's spreading so that people aren't brainwashed into believing, like her sugars, that everything she says is true, because it definitely is not. Meghan reiterated the importance of working to shape a kinder, more humane online experience and expressed that she and Harry's nonprofit foundation, Archewell, would work to uphold those same values. No, this is just a way for people to send money, and she doesn't actually do anything. All she and Harry do are Meghan Markle will come on and she will give a little speech about something that's happening in our current events or whatever the hot topics are. She spews a little bit of word salad out there, but she doesn't actually do anything. All she does is try to give us the perception that she's out there changing the world and doing all these things. No, she's not. She's getting in front of people. She's trying to get people to give money to them when they get their charity up and running. And she's trying to get money for as a paid speaker and to help them in their seeking fame and fortune. Anyway, sorry. Part of our focus will be Archewell's foundation is to just ensure that we are helping foster healthy, positive communities online and off for our collective well-being. Meghan, you do nothing for our well-being. The people that are listening to this, you have upset us to the point that it gives us anger. It makes us feel sadness. It makes us feel like we want to lash out and voice our opinions about everything that you're doing and how wrong it is, because you don't seem to know. The Bazaar says Duchess Kate and Prince William share new photos of George, Charlotte, and Louis. So this was when they posed with Sir David Attenborough in the gardens of Kensington Palace. I've got to try to put in some nice things in here, and I want to cover the royals that are working hard and doing well for all of us. The Cambridges can be seen posting with Sir David Attenborough in the new snaps, which were taken in the gardens of Kensington Palace earlier in the week. Attenborough visited the palace to show Prince William his forthcoming feature film, David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet, and an outdoor screening, which was also captured on camera. This too is airing on Netflix. And this bothers me because I would like to see this, so I'm going to wait until it's maybe posted on YouTube or somewhere else so I can actually watch it. All right, that is just the most beautiful picture. I swear these kids are gorgeous. And God bless Kate and William for being such great parents and raising such beautiful children. Poor Archie, I can't imagine what his life is going to be like, just because Meghan and Harry have so much emotional baggage that they've carried into their adulthood, and then having a son. What is this child's life going to be like? It just breaks my heart for them. I'm not saying that they're mistreating him or anything, but I just don't believe Meghan has that emotional connection with him, and I just think that he is in an environment that is keeping him so shielded from the outside world that he won't know what reality is like. Just like Thomas Markle and Doria Ragland shielded Meghan and, made everything she did, saying it was brilliant and, oh, go do this, go do that. They made her think that she was invincible. I believe giving your kids encouragement and building their confidence, but we also have to be realistic, and they have to know that change comes about with hard work, and pursuing their passions is going to take hard work, and be there to support them. But don't just make them think they can do whatever and that it's okay, or whatever they have to say, is important to everybody else, because it's not reality. Anyway, back to the article. A press release calls Attenborough's new movie his most personal project to date, in which he presents some of the most defining moments of his career as a naturalist and the devastating changes that he has seen. So he's teaming up with Prince William, because this also goes into him supporting the global changes and climate changes. So, beautiful picture. This one has, I thought this was odd, that Prince William opens up about his family's environmental work and how his children motivate him. Published in Bazaar. Guys, look who wrote this article. So, Omid Scobie, author or co-author of Finding Freedom, actually is reporting on the royals. If I were them, I wouldn't have anything to do with this man. I wouldn't talk to him, give him an interview, and I'd go back to Us, Cosmopolitan, Bazaar, all of the favorites of Meghan's. Yeah, now we know why, because Scobie is a contributor for them, and send somebody else to interview us or write about the article. We don't want to have anything to do with them. But no, they have too much class to do that. It's not often that a member of the British royal family invites cameras to follow their every mood, but when Prince William was approached by British documentary makers to shadow his environmental work for 2 years, there was only one answer for the future king. Someone has to put their head above the parapet and say, I care about this, the Duke of Cambridge says of his decision to take part in the ambitious TV documentary titled Prince William, A Planet for All of Us. So I don't know if that's part of Attenborough's, or if this will be a separate one, or just one of the in the series, which will show the royal champion major action for the natural world, to have the belief that we can all work together and make a difference. Harry, Meghan, this is what somebody who really wants to make a difference does. They get involved, and they don't just talk about it, but they go out. And he spent 2 years doing this. They put the work in. They educate themselves about it, not just a one-sided education like you snowflake millennials are. His hope, says says in the footage, is to inspire young people, local communities around the world to create a more positive relationship with the environment. I owe it to them to help their voices be heard, he says of the 90-minute special, which will air in the UK on October the 5th. So, okay. So I'm going to try to see if that's something I can be a part of. Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. I have one little dog that gets jealous, and the other one's laying right next to me, so I apologize. All right, so it's okay. Can I give you? Need some more drops? So it's okay. It's okay, baby. All right. So it says that generational gap. That's a good boy. Here you go. Take this. Will be bridged somehow so that the older political leaders understand that the younger generations means business. Guys, that's my Yorkie that's 17 that has congestive heart failure, and I'm giving him his drops, and he'll be okay in just a moment. So he does this. All right. So the other thing, they want their futures protected. I feel that it is my duty and our collective responsibility to leave our planet in a stronger position for our children. That's okay, baby. All right. And then Showbiz. She says, according to a new biography about the Sussex Finding Freedom, Harry spends a lot of time reading up on what has been written about him and his wife. I hope he does. I hope he goes through and watches the YouTubers' blogs. I hope he goes on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr and sees what people have to say about him, and all the receipts that shows the lies that they tell, like Meghan's recent lie about not knowing that Britain had a Black History Month when she had been involved in one, and actually visited kids after they sent follow-up thank you letters to her. Scrolling on his iPhone, he sometimes couldn't stop himself from reading the comments on the articles, said the authors Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand. In an excerpt published by The Times in late July, H&M discussed me. They are a disgrace to the royal family. The world would be a better place without Harry and Meghan in it. The last comment had over 3,500 upvotes. So, Harry, maybe you'll read them, but Meghan's taught you, as we've seen in her little rants, that that's just noise, and she lets it go down the drain because it doesn't bother her, whether it's flattery or criticism. So, Harry, I guess she's convinced you of this too now. So, Scobie and Durand continued. Harry regretted opening the link, his stomach tied into the same knot every time he saw these sorts of comments. Well, he shouldn't be involved in doing this, and people wouldn't have those comments to say. Earlier this year, royal reporter Rebecca English had told the Daily Mail about an encounter with Harry in Lesotho in 2006. While English was writing about his charity sent to Bali on her laptop, Harry peeked over her shoulders. Just wanted to see what you were saying about me, he reportedly said. I always want to know what people are saying about me. And you should want to know. The problem is your wife doesn't care, but you should care. Carolyn Durand. This is something else I'm going to do. Guys, I think that the reason why we haven't heard of the co-author of Finding Freedom, Carolyn Durand, is there a possibility, now this is just a theory, that she is going to be called as a witness with the Mail on Sunday in the case and be a witness against Meghan, stating whether or not that she and Scobie did cooperate with them, if they spoke to Meghan and Harry about any parts of the book, if they got direct quotes from them. So it is a possibility of that. So anyway, I was just looking up some information on her. All right, let's go ahead and see. We're going to go ahead and end it right there. And let me go ahead and get back to, and we'll start that in the next video. Give me just a moment, and it's okay. All right, I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate it, and we will be back with you soon.